we have a question coming from your home state of Pennsylvania, and one of my favorite young professionals out there, and another guy who's got a great podcast. Tyler, take it away.
Scott, thank you so much. And Debra, it's great to hear you're from Pennsylvania as well. I've been born and raised here, so I know all about Pennsylvania, more in like the Allentown and Philadelphia area. So my question for you, though, is I am currently writing my first book. It's going to be more of a sales book, talking about my journey in sales and really ultimately how I believe that the skills that you learn from sales are the foundation to your future success, no matter what job you're doing. However, I also want to make sure that this book isn't just one of those typical sales books, just regurgitating the same information and make it unique. So what advice do you have for, and it sounded like you mentioned this with your co-author as well, about trying not to keep it, to not keep it stale. What's your best piece of advice around somebody who's starting their own book and making sure that it's not just that same old book?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So when Glenn and I wrote the book, we probably spent half of our time just researching and looking what else was out there and talking about how we wanted to structure the book and what we wanted in the book and what we didn't want in the book. And then the other half, then we did write. So I think you're right. I think spend some time thinking about what's out there that people know already, and what are the things that makes you unique, and what are the key messages that you want. And then also even just the structure of the book, I think, is really important. So for example, Glenn and I knew that we called it a playbook. So we knew we wanted it to be something so that each chapter you could pick up and look at individually. So if you had a problem with recognition, you'd look at this chapter. If you had a problem with learning and development, you'd look at this chapter. And then each chapter had like a section that was just looking at what the different chapters were on. So at the end of each chapter, it had, okay, this is what you can start doing tomorrow. These are some of your goals, and here are some stories. So again, think of that. But I don't know about anybody else. I'm a huge storyteller. The more real life examples, and even what went wrong. So my first book on communications, funnily enough, hardly anybody wanted to share their stories with me because they were mostly mistakes. So most of the examples in my book are my mistakes, but people love mistakes. So yeah, share stories, good and bad. And I think that people will really, really like that. When I see reviews of the book, probably most people say they like the stories the best. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you.
And good luck with the book.
Thank you.